Welcome to 8K Events Backstage Pass. My name is Mikayla. I am 20 years old. I am currently a student in university, and I decided to start my own small event planning business this summer. And that's kind of the short intro because I've touched on myself and my business for all the other questions. So we'll just get into it. 8K Events is a clientele-based event planning small business started up by me. I specify in tailoring each event to each unique client and their vision. 8K Events is based in GTA and Waterloo region. I guess people like to mix it up a little, but I don't plan parties and sell tickets. If you want to put it in simple terms, I'm basically a wedding planner before every other event you could think of. Being clientele based, you would reach out to me or I would reach out to you depending on if you're a small business or a young professional or just a family member and you're celebrating a social event and so on. We would end up having a client consultation online or in person. Totally depends on your preference. Everything goes by your budget and your timeline. I don't progress with planning without your approval. With 8K, the service I want to provide is being able to take away stress, being able to just give you an event, an experience of your choosing, your own personalized experience, but you don't have to do any of the planning. Depending on how the consultation goes, if you're happy with what I've discussed with you, then we would move forward with a deposit and then an invoice and then the planning process, of course, and then comes the day of the event. So all of that is discussed obviously when you do decide to hire me as your event planner. Planning as itself is not easy, so I know the idea of having it as a career choice is tough, but I am willing to put that work in. As for what I plan, I want to plan celebrations, birthdays, graduations, typical parties, anniversaries, dates for small businesses. It could pertain to pop-ups, launching your product, just setup. So for example, a romantic date setup or engagement setup. I also plan recreation and sporting events, generic everyday events that you wouldn't typically consider hiring an event planner for, but it's definitely worth your time. I do have a couple years of experience in photography and videography, just depending on the type of events clients would want to have. I tend to offer my services for free or just with an additional cost on top of whatever extra fees and costs you would put into the event anyways. I put those questions together because I think they tied together. The only reason I was able to start 8K is because I'm in school. I can tell you a bit of background. I go to the University of Waterloo. I'm in the Recreation and Sports Business program, but I also minor in event management, which is where event planning comes from. I also applied to be part of the co-op program. We work every other semester. I just entered my third year of school, but for first year of university, we had a full year of school. Second year came and it was school first semester, so September to December, and then second semester, which was January to April, it was a working semester. So that was our first work term. I was able to get a job with a pharmaceutical event planning company. I would say that I did have a good time. It was definitely an eye-opener into the event planning world. I'm not in tune with my science side. It wasn't for me. It really wasn't. I was in office for a couple days of the week and I worked from home as well for a couple days. So I wasn't complaining too much because it was flexible. I get bored too easily. So having an office job, working from 9 to 5, found that I really did like the event planning side of things when it came to work, so I stuck with that. I continued to work part-time over summer, which was my school term as well. Something in me was telling me to just keep gaining the experience, keep gaining the knowledge. I was scrolling on the Waterloo job site. What I found was a self-employed program. It's unpaid. It's the same amount of time, so 4 months, so I am in my work term. It's an online program. They offer you a lot of resources to get your business started. You apply for the program with an idea, just a business idea. It was interesting to me, and to be honest, I just wasn't really thinking of applying to another job. I guess I'm just impatient because something in my mind just told me to start my own business. I would say it was a good decision. I would say it was one of my best decisions. When you get admitted into the program, you automatically get admitted into an e-launch pitch award competition, kind of like an elevator pitch, just 5 minutes. The winner of the e-launch pitch award could win potentially $5,000 to help fund their business. Trying to start a whole business by yourself as a student, you don't know too much of the entrepreneurship world. It was definitely something to fight for. Thankfully, thank God, I was able to win the competition, and I ended up winning that 5K. Winning was what just pushed me forward. Yeah, it was definitely one of my biggest motivators. I'll say who. I think my parents are one of the biggest reasons why I'm in the position I am today. They're both entrepreneurs, so I grew up watching both of them build their own businesses from the ground up. That's what I'm used to. That's what I watch. So I can understand why the idea of a 9-to-5 job looks so unappealing to me, because that's what I look after. That's what I look up to. I look at that and I think I want to be that and more. I want a whole lot more. They put me in a good spot and they just provided so much. Very, very grateful for them, and without them I would not even be in school in a co-op program. I would not be able to be where I am today, so I owe them a lot. Everyone, it doesn't matter who, everyone has an event to plan. It is true. Everyone has a birthday. Everyone has something that they want to plan, whether that's a friend's trip, a girl's trip, a guy's trip, a date, a picnic, an engagement, photo shoot, a wedding, but I don't do weddings. Just planning to hang out with a group of people, a get-together, Friendsgiving, Valentine's Day, anything. It requires you to set a time, set a date, to have a location. It requires you to plan it. All of that is in tune with event planning, which I don't think people realize. It only benefits you, because I offer stress-free event planning for the price of adding tax to your total cost. I would charge your total percent out of the total cost of the whole event. In return, you get stress-free planning, all within your budget and all within your timeline. I would say my biggest challenge is being young and being a startup. I think it's already hard enough for any business startup to just establish themselves in their industry as a potential lead provider of their service that puts the needs of the clients first. It's hard enough to do that as a startup, but it's even harder to do that as a 20-year-old who's still in school, who people don't necessarily take seriously. And as I said earlier, the point of this channel, or Backstage Pass, is so that people can see that I am mature. To be able to push 8K forward, I need to have an entrepreneur mindset. And I feel like what's better to show that mindset than to just record myself planning and to record the processes behind the services that I provide. If I can get to the point where I have pretty good exposure, I have a good portfolio, I have good content, I will move forward. Age is not what determines how good my services are. My work ethic does that, and my content does that. Whatever I put out, whatever work I do, whatever event I create, design, host, is what defines how people view me. It doesn't matter what event it is, and it doesn't matter how old you are and what you look like, how much money you have. It just depends on how willing you are to let me help you create that experience that you want to have. To be able to do that, you would just have to give me the chance first. I don't have too much work to put out, and I don't have too much content yet. I want to be able to share behind the scenes footage. Event planners especially, it's important for target audience to see professionalism and how much commitment you have to the process of providing and producing great events and great experiences and great content for people to see. I can also express myself creatively through editing, and YouTube is a perfect platform to do that, which is why I started this channel. So stay tuned. This video is kind of my intro to you. It's my bid that I will commit 100% no matter the client, and I will commit to creating those unique experiences for every single client. If you're doubting me, then you're wrong. I just want to keep building and I don't see a finish line right now, and I want it to stay like that until I'm rich. Still have a very long way to go. I'm ready to keep climbing those steps however long it takes. I can't wait to produce more behind the scenes content to share with all of you. That was 7 questions with the founder of 8K Events, and thank you for watching. Okay, I think I'm done. Bye bye.